Second season done for the Blaze. How do you reflect on the campaign as a whole?
I think we reflect obviously really fondly on the success within the Charlotte Edwards Cup, and then I think the resilience and grit and determination we showed in the Rachel Hayhoe Flint to give ourselves a fighting chance after the start we had. So I think it's one to look back on with great pride, tinged with a little bit of disappointment in the last week, but ultimately when we step back and dust ourselves off, I think it's a season to be really proud of. Being in those two finals, having not been in a final before, gave us a taste of where we wanted to move forwards to as a team, and just gave us more determination to get that final step done and get ourselves over the line and get the trophy in our back pockets. I didn't realise at the time last year how that first final was in terms of mentality with the players and perhaps some nerves and expectation of what it might look like. But I just sensed a really different group going into the final this year. A lot calmer, a lot more sure of ourselves of how we wanted to go about playing our game of cricket and what it would take to win. So it definitely felt like the experiences we had last year helped in that crunch time this year.
And something that shines through, particularly in some of the footage we captured on that finals day, is the spirit amongst the team, with Kirsty quoting Dappy lyrics in huddles before knockout games and all that sort of stuff. How big a part did those bonds within the team play in that success?
Yeah, it's massive, isn't it? It's fundamental to any sports team or any team, for that matter, that performs well is that unity that you've got as a group. I think a lot of the things that we did in the lead up to it, we were really consistent with our messaging. We went the day before the final, we went and did some crown green bowls in Derby, which was a really good laugh, and got the group together. And like you said, Gordo delivering things in her own way to the group just to keep it fresh and keep everyone engaged and everyone smiling and try and relax people. It's massive.
You've had 2 years now with Kirsty as your captain at the Blaze. What have you made of her leadership in the last couple of summers?
She's an outstanding leader, is Gordo. She's developing as well from a real high base that she came into. Tactically, she's so astute. She wants to win everything. She wants to win in the warm-up. And I think that transpires through to the group, and that desire to win and compete is something that's like inbuilt in her, and it's rubbed off on the rest of the group. People management is excellent, like you said, how she can command the group, command the respect, and deal with people in different ways, I think is a testament to how good of a leader she is.
She's had some season as a player as well.
Yeah, it's been really nice to see that from her. I suppose that was one concern last year with her taking on the captaincy, how it would impact and affect her own game. And I don't think it did too much, but she certainly stepped up to be the leading light there with the ball, obviously leading wicket taker in the Charlotte Edwards Cup, contributed in crucial moments for us in the Rachel Hayhoe Flint, even opening the batting in that one game up at Scarborough, but always willing to put herself out there and take on the fight. So yeah, it's been great to see her personal performance as well as her leadership.
Yeah, and you touch on the Rachel Hayhoe Flint there, which was a bit more of a roller coaster of a season, I guess. What did you learn in those first few games in particular when things maybe weren't going your way? Yeah,
I think that it was really hard. It was probably, reflecting back, it was probably the toughest 3-4 weeks in my coaching career. But 3-4 weeks, I'd say I learned a hell of a lot. And I think that one thing that we, again, did really well is we stayed consistent with our messaging. So we spoke about our 50 over cricket and how we wanted to try and develop that over the winter. I wanted to go in with a slightly different style of play of how we wanted to approach the game. And we never veered away from that. But early season, it was a challenge when you're missing 5 out of the orthodox top 6, I suppose. So we had to slightly try and readjust ourselves, but we maintained true to the message of this is how we want to play the game, this is the mindset we want to have. And then when the players started to feed back in who'd been away, it was really, really exciting to see us playing that brand of cricket more often than not. And then when we had to try and be smart, we showed some good smarts as well within that. It's nothing rocket science. We obviously just want to play a positive brand of cricket. We want to take the game forward. For me, I think there's strides to be made in and around the power play from a batting perspective. Within the women's game, I think it's somewhere that can be developed and pushed forwards. And we bounced around a few ideas of how we wanted to look at doing that from a group perspective, and we settled on something that was really good for us as a unit to expand that and not just think about the power play as just the 10 over block, just to expand our thinking a little bit, and ultimately put scores of 280 plus on the board was what we were trying to do, with some real solid foundations in doing that.
Yeah, and with the way that the competition panned out, it meant that every game felt like a must-win in that latter half of the 50 over competition. How proud were you of how the team reacted to that to stay in contention as they did?
Yeah, so proud of them. Obviously, it's always the strangest part of the season for me, coming back after the 100, when people have been in different places and had different levels of success, had different levels of game time, different bits of input. So it's always a challenge to get the group back together and gel quickly, and we did that really, really well. It was tiring. It felt quick. It felt like you say, like every game had so much riding on it, and the girls did so well, obviously, to pick up those 3 wins, and ultimately, unfortunately, we weren't able to do it in that last game against Sparks. But really proud of how we gave ourselves a right good shot up until the very end.
We don't really have time to touch on all individual performances, but I think it's fair to say Catherine Bryce's season has been pretty spectacular across both formats. What have you made of her impacts this year? Yeah,
she's been absolutely outstanding, bat ball and in the field. Obviously, that form she was showing within the Charlotte Edwards Cup was like unrivaled. To be that consistent in T20 cricket over that many games was phenomenal to watch. What excites me most, like she's had it in her. It's something that I've challenged her on for a few years now, of being the leading batter in the country, not just the leading batter in our team. And she's gone about it in her way, which has been fantastic to see. She's stepped up in key moments with the ball and is always vital for us in the field. So it's been great to see her develop the way she has. And another one that I'd like to touch on as an individual performance would be that of Ella Claridge. A real breakthrough season for her, and someone who's come through the academy into the first team, and for her to finish as our leading run scorer in the Rachel Hayhoe Flint Trophy, with some really important innings to win us games, has been really rewarding to see as well, that journey that a player can go on. And she stepped up when people perhaps weren't available at the start of the season, put her hand up, and really taking her opportunity. Yeah,
and I guess that projects a positive message to those looking to follow in her footsteps as well.
Yeah, that's what we'd hope. We obviously want players to be coming through the pathway. I think that's one of the things that I found most pride in with the Charlotte Edwards Cup, was when you look at the team that won that trophy. There's 10 of that 11. The only one that wasn't was Heather Graham, who were part of Lightning 3 years ago. When we weren't in finals, when we weren't winning competition. So I think that we've shown some really good growth. We've obviously brought a couple of people in to develop that weren't playing those days. But I think that we've shown as a structure and as a team that we improve players and we can get people better that we've got in, and that's something we want to continue to do.